Hi everyone. As part of this problem, we have the input data set as a text file companies.txt. This data set contains below content. So it has information about the organization, their tagline, some description, and the year in which it was founded. As part of the output, we are looking for the name of the organization along with the tagline. So the content that is appearing before the description, we are looking for that as part of the output. So whatever is highlighted in the bold is the output that is required. So let's get going and solve this problem. So as a first step, we will load this text file companies.txt. So we will create a input data frame. We will use the Spark Read API and specify the format as text. And then we will specify the path where the file is present. Now let's go to the DBFS and get the file path. So this is the file. We will copy the path. Let's use the path and let us load this data. So now we will see what is the data that is loaded. One thing we need to know is whenever we are loading a text file, by default, there is one column that is created, which is having the name as value. So now we run this and see the output. So the data has been successfully loaded. We are able to see all the records in the value column. So after loading the data, now we will look out for solving the problem. Here, as we see in the content, we need to get the text prior to the first pipe that we see, the pipe character that we see. We need to get the content prior to that. So to do this, we will be using a Spark SQL function. So in order to use that, we will add the appropriate import statement first. So let's do that quickly. Okay, let's run this cell. Okay, now we are ready to go. So we will operate on the input data frame. Let's create a new column using with column function. Let's call this column as details. And now what we will do is we are going to use the function substring index. So in this function, as a first parameter, we will pass the column on which we are operating. So it is value in this case. So this is the first parameter that is passed. Now, as we saw in the input, we are looking for the data prior to the delimiter, that is pipe character. So as part of this function, we will specify the second parameter as pipe character. So let's do that. So we will add the pipe character. And then, so basically what this function does is we have to inform on which column we are operating, what is the delimiter that we are looking for, and till which occurrence we want the content. So for example, if we mention it as +1, it means that we want all the content in this column till this delimiter is occurring for the first time. So for example, if we see the input, so it will start searching for the first pipe and the first pipe is present here. So it will get this content as part of the output. So let's run and then it will be more clear. So we will see the details that is created in the details column. And for easiness sake, let's have only the details column. Currently, the output is having the entire data plus the details column. And since the input data is very huge, it's little bit tedious to analyze this. So what we will do is we will just keep the details column that is newly created. So let's run and see the output. So as we see, we have rightly fetched the data. We have got the data prior to the first pipe, and for that we have utilized the substring index function. So although we have now solved the problem, let's take a deep look at this function. So how does this function behave? So basically it is searching for this delimiter till this occurrence number of time. So since we have given the first occurrence, it has got the data. Now, if we say that we want to look for second occurrence, so second occurrence of pipe is here. So ideally we should get the data till this point. So let's try and see that. So if we set the occurrence and run it, as we see, we are getting the data till this point. So similarly, depending on the requirement, we can specify delimiter until which occurrence we are looking the data for. So this is the way we have specified here is a positive occurrence. So if we specify a positive occurrence, it will search the data in the forward direction. But in case we want to search the data in backward direction, so for example, if we specify it as -1, so it will start looking from the backwards and look for the first pipe that is present. And as soon as it finds the first pipe, it will get the data on the from the right side. So this is what we have by specifying -1. We have searched the delimiter that is pipe from the backward direction. Similarly, if we specify -2 and run this, so it will look for the occurrence of pipe from the backwards when it is occurring the second time. So if we see, this is the second occurrence from backward direction. So it will fetch this data. And as we see, this is what we have. Okay, so hope this is clear and we go back to the output that we required. So this way we have solved the required problem. So let's do a quick summary of how we have reached to the solution. So we were given the input data set as companies.txt. The format was text. So we have used the Spark API to load it by specifying the format as text. After loading the data, we saw that the data is loaded in a column that is value. So whenever a text formatted file is loaded, by default, the data is loaded into a column named value. After that, we operated onto this data frame that we loaded. We created a new column by using the with column function. We call this column as details. And for fetching the data prior to the first pipe character, we have used the substring index function. We have operated on the value column. We have specified the delimiter as pipe and we have specified the number of occurrence as 1, indicating get the data that is present prior to the first occurrence of the pipe character. After getting the data, we have just retained the details column and loaded the results. So this way we have got the output. So please go through it. The content of the input data set will be added as part of the video description. If you found the video useful, please like it. If you have not yet subscribed the channel, please subscribe and please share the video in your circle so that more people can benefit. Thank you.